fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Let go. Let God. Hey everybody, Joe Simons, like diamonds, back again with Salt Strong Unchurched. Every week I do a Salt Strong Unchurched, and every week I get all kinds of emails, all kinds of messages from you guys, the listeners, and I absolutely love it. I wish more of you would do it. I love hearing the stories. I love hearing the perspectives. I learn from it. There's some super insightful things that I've heard, and prayer requests, etc. And one gentleman in particular, Don, who's been a lifelong, insider and just a huge supporter of Salt Strong and just a big supporter of Unchurched, I believe has probably listened to every single one. And usually, almost like clockwork, really, gives me some feedback on Sundays or share stories that have happened in his life that he could relate to on Unchurched. And I love it. I really do love those. So continue to everyone to please email me, joe@saltstrong.com. JOE@saltstrong.com. I love them. I cherish the emails and the messages I get from listeners on Unchurched in particular. Like I said, I'm learning, and in this case, I'm about to share with you. It was just a timely message I needed to hear from a listener, my friend Don there, that I believe God was using him to just get the right message to me at the right time when I needed it. So the message is let go, let God. And that was something that he shared in a recent email to me. And it was a phrase that he said he repeated over and over again, countless times when he was going through some tough times in life and from family to business, etc. And what that means, at least to me, I'm sure it could have slightly different interpretations, but it just means to let go of your fears, of your anxieties, of the things that are out of your control and let God do his work. Let God run his plan. Trust in God, have faith in God. There are so many things that we get worked up about and I'm not saying that we shouldn't try our best and try to do the very best and fix issues as they arise. But at some point, there's things that are out of our control. There's some things that we build up all this anxiety or anger or fear or whatever it is about things that ultimately are out of our control. And at some point, we have to just sit back, let go, and let God do his work. And so we were faced with something shortly after Don sent me that message that kind of came out of the blue, and it was with our daughter, Shauna. And for those of you that have either met Shauna at some of our events or have seen her on Facebook, her nickname is Shauna the Nature Girl. She has been, I say, gifted with this love of nature, and it's a reciprocal deal, meaning even as a young girl, I mean, it was so funny to watch a little 7-8-year-old girl in our neighborhood go up and grab a snake that all the other kids are screaming and even adults are screaming, and she would just go up just peacefully and go pick up a snake that was as long as her and not have any fear about it. And the snake almost seemed calm. Like she just has this gift with animals that are attracted to her. She has got a way with animals and reptiles and insects, etc. Lizard, everything just seems like it's just calm around her. It's almost unexplainable. I don't have that gift. I don't know where she got it from. It's really, really wild. Now that's all cool, right? As a youngster for her, and even adults that have met her, like, oh my gosh, she is so special. Like she's going to be, the next fill in the blank. Crocodile hunter, right? And whoever has their own little show now with pets and nature and stuff. She really does have a special gift. But the tough part for young kids, and we all, I'm sure, went through this, is it's that 7th, 8th grade time frame where she is right now, and it honestly probably goes all the way to into high school. It's been really, really tough for me to relate with what I'm going to share, because I had a really good high school experience. I had a really good friendship base, and I was a star athlete and prom king my senior year, and it was just such a different experience for me, and I'm really having trouble relating with what I'm going to share. So, but so here's the deal, and I get even just kind of teary eyed thinking about it. So, in that seventh, eighth grade range, and you guys, once again, probably some of you might relive this painfully. Some of you might have been dealing with this now with kids, grandkids, etc. That's kind of the age where, you're trying to figure out life. You're trying to figure out who your friends are and what clique you're a part of and what you're going to be. And you're super insecure. I mean, that's probably the most insecure a kid is when they're starting to get braces and acne and all the things that happen in that 11, 12, 13-year-old range. And this is my perspective from what I've seen at not just her school, but most schools in general, is there's kind of three groups that are forming. And this is probably for men and women, but I'm going to do it from the perspective of my daughter, Shauna. And there's three main groups forming. And one of them is, the athletes, right? You got the girls who are lacrosse players and basketball players, volleyball players, soccer players, et cetera. So you got kind of the athletes, and most of them are friends. They're all kind of hanging out and doing life together. And they're forming their own bonds and friendships. And then you have, I'll just say the real popular girls, and there's some overlap maybe in those two, but you got the cheerleaders, right? And the just the girls who are the considered the popular ones. And so that's kind of its own little group and clique. And then you have, I'm going to call them just artists. And that includes, band and art and all the other things that would fall into that category. And they have their own little group. And then I've got Shauna, and this is where it's just like, I know deep down, and before you send me an email saying, hey, she's going to do fine, long-term apps, I know that deep down, I 100% know it, but it kills me now to hear her, like she came home and she's crying and just, finally just kind of unloading a lot of stuff that we honestly didn't really know about. She had, really kind of been putting on almost like a fake smile every day and saying, yeah, school's great. And finally just kind of unloaded. And she's like, I got no friends. And actually she's got one, but I guess she recently found out her one and only friend is going to be moving next year. So like she's already getting some anxiety. Like, what do I do next year? I'm literally going to have zero friends. So even when this other girl is gone for the day or absent or whatever, I mean, Shauna sits by herself at lunch every day. Stuff, once again, I didn't know. We're not there to see that. And she's been telling us that school has been fine and she's doing fine in grades and all that. But the friendship part is tough. And I talked about that even on the Be the Tree, about just the importance of having other people around you. And so we're all kind of teary eyed, hearing her tell us this, and that, she's kind of getting made fun of as kind of the frog girl. And, she's trying to get in with some of these groups, trying to make friends. And many of them are, this is once again the insecure part. And when you're insecure, you kind of tend to put other people down. It's part of adolescence. No matter how hard we want to try, no matter how hard you want to end bullying, and I wouldn't even call it bullying so much, and sadly, it's just a part of life that we have to go through, and it should make you stronger. I know it will make her stronger over time. It just stinks to deal with it now as a dad who wants to get in there and just fix everything. But so Shauna, let's just say as she's telling the story, she'll go up and try to, at least be part of a conversation, and they're purposely butting her out and saying, why don't you go and chase some frogs or some lizards? Because, that's what she's done primarily. And honestly, she gets a lot of joy doing that. And, but it's just so tough, and it just kills me. And I'm the kind of person, I just want to get in there and fix stuff. I'm just already thinking, all right, I'm going to go to that school and show them what's up, and show these friends what's up. And I'm going to help make Shauna cool. And the more I thought about it, this was like shortly after Don sent me that message. And I was like, all right, this is out of my control. Like this whole scene of Shauna not being popular, not even having any friends with the exception of this one girl, in the whole school. I mean, Lily, she's like, this is the only girl who will really even talk to me. And as a father, it just, it melts my heart. It kills me. I'm like, mm. The whole time I'm sitting there, my wife and I went to bed and we're talking about it. And we're like, well, we're going to move schools. And we're talking about, God, honestly, kind of just crazy stuff. And I was like, we just got to we got to let go. We got to let God. Even if we put her in a different school, she still is probably going to be in the same boat. And her confidence is so low. Like at some point we have to let go and let God do his work and just love on her. I will tell you, as soon as I said, let go, let God, and started saying that over and over again that night, there was just like this peace. And I actually went to bed feeling pretty good. I'll be honest, it didn't happen really quick, but it happened a whole lot quick. Normally, had I not had that mindset and had Don not sent me that message, I probably would have been up for like 4 hours obsessing over this and thinking about all the things I'm going to do. And I'm going to get in there and take control of this whole situation and fix things for my daughter. But as I just said that, I actually went to bed pretty quickly and pretty peacefully. I did wake up the next morning. I was going fishing with Luke early. And so that's when I wake up at, 4-ish. And I wrote Sean a little note and just told her I loved her and that God loved her. And the whole drive there to fish with Luke, I'm thinking about it. And I'm just like, all right, every time I get myself in a little tizzy, if you will, and get worked up about it, I was like, all right, let go, let God, let go, let God. And I would just get a little bit more peace every time I said it. And I came home that day after fishing. I'm excited to see Shauna. So I'm just kind of waiting there for her to get home. And I'm like, how'd your day go? And she's like, actually, it was really good. And there weren't like 10 friends that, all of a sudden just one become her BFF. But she just said it was a really good day. And she really appreciated the note and got her in a good mood. And she did have one other girl that I guess sat with them at lunch. So that's a start, right? And I don't know. I don't know what will happen with it ultimately. Who knows if Shauna will ever have, more than one friend. I don't know. It's so tough for me to relate to because once again, I was quite the opposite. My wife was kind of somewhere in the middle. My wife had a core of like 3 to 4 really good friends, but didn't have hundreds of friends. And I was just the opposite. I cannot relate to just having one friend and even getting teased. I would have punched someone in the mouth when I was younger. I was not going to let anyone bully me around like that. And I'm not obviously going to encourage my daughter to go punch another girl in the mouth. But I don't know. This is one of those moments that it's testing me because I want to get in there and just fix things. And I know this is one where God's asking me to step back and let him do his thing, to let him just work on her. And I know deep down, I know that she is destined to do big things. I mean, every adult that meets her that's not insecure and, a teenager, they see it. I mean, she has got just some special gift. She's just shining inside. Especially when it comes to animals and stuff. I just know she's destined to do great things. But in this little trial, I just ask that you guys pray for me on this. Pray for Shauna on this. Pray for our whole family. It's so tough. And especially when you get those moments when you think everything's going well and all of a sudden they just come and melt and break down and say that life's horrible and they have no friends. They never want to go to school again and they hate life. It just, and it's one thing if a kid says it and it's just a small little thing where they got teased or they accidentally farted in class or something. But when it's something that's been going on all year and literally no one will even talk to her. And I kind of notice it even when I pick her up and drop her off, she's just got her confidence is beat down when it comes to school. But when she's at home and even just around the property and animals, like she's just lit up. And so I know she's still got it in her. And I know I can't sit there and go to school and be with her and try to fix all these things. I know this is just like with my anxiety and just like things you've been through and your kids have been through. This is something that she's going to have to go through. And it's going to stink. It's probably going to be hurtful for a while. And she's not even fully a teenager yet. She's getting really close. But I know those are just so tough for so many people. And I'm learning so much being a dad and about being a parent and about being a good listener and just being a faithful steward to God and letting him do his work. So once again, I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you all for all the love, all the support, the prayers. Continue to pray over Sean. And if you have similar stories you're going through or have gone through, I'd love to hear from you, how you dealt with it, or if you have kids like Shauna who have just, have no real friends and really trying to, just struggling to build up that confidence if there's certain courses or classes and thank you guys so much for listening, for being a real special part of this podcast. And I cherish this time with you. I cherish the feedback. Hit me up, joe@saltstrong.com. And I hope you have an amazing week. Continue to pray for Shauna, pray for me, pray for our whole family. And I love you guys. And I'll talk to you on the next episode.
'Cause fishing, it's in my